Hi, my name is Rabbi Sandra, and welcome to our podcast, Soulful Shalom, where we delve into complex conversations that are shaping the world. And I frame it in a Jewish context. And so today we're tackling a sensitive topic, the comparison of struggles between different marginalized groups of people. In this case, the struggles between the comparison of anti-Semitism and anti-Black racism. And recently, I've seen some people draw parallels between anti-Semitism and the experiences of Black Americans who face anti-Black racism. And as a Black person who's also Jewish and a rabbi, I'm here to share why these comparisons are harmful and how we can move forward with greater understanding and solidarity. So welcome to my podcast today, and that's what we're going to talk about. By the way, before I begin, if you've been following for a while, you know I used to have another podcast called Hineni, Here I Am, and so you can now, if you want to download or not download, you can now get all of those episodes on my Substack, which is at rabbisandra.substack.com, and all those episodes are now slowly being uploaded onto Substack, so you can watch them. It's all about Torah and blessings and some music and stuff like that. Okay, so before we begin, I want you all to understand that anti-Semitism is real, it's happening. Anti-Black racism is real, it's happening. Racism happens, homophobia happens, violence happens, and with all the love and respect that I have, I urge my fellow Jewish siblings and friends and people who are Jewish adjacent who are not Black to reconsider using comparisons that equate Jewish experience with that of Black Americans, particularly equating anti-Semitism with racism, and particularly anti-Black racism. So for those of you who may not understand what I'm talking about when people who are not Black or when Jews are not Black are drawing similarities between anti-Semitism and racism and saying things like this would not, when referring to anti-Semitism, people would not be silent if this was happening to Black people, or people would not be silent if this was happening to queer people. For example, recently, a major Jewish organization did a whole social media campaign, which they took down. I'm glad. I said something on social media about not doing that. I don't know if I had anything to do with them taking it down, because I wasn't the only person that was upset about it. But this major Jewish organization, in talking about anti-Semitism, drew false equivalences to racism and homophobia. And this is dangerous, especially if one is not a member of the said community they're talking about. So I'm going to talk about why this is not good. First of all, anti-Black racism has deep roots in centuries of slavery, segregation, and ongoing systemic oppression. Comparing it to the experiences of anti-Semitism while acknowledging the pain that's caused minimizes the unique suffering of Black individuals and communities. So basically, if you make comparisons like that, you're actually minimizing the experiences of Black Americans. You're minimizing the experiences of racism that Black Americans face. Our Torah teaches us to pursue justice, and that means recognizing the distinct injustices faced by different communities. Also, it's important to remember that while both anti-Semitism and anti-Black racism are abhorrent, both bad, they operate differently due to historical and societal context. Drawing simple parallels oversimplifies the issues, making it harder to address them effectively. To truly understand another's experience, we need deep empathy and careful listening. The fight against hate should not be a competition. We should not be practicing oppression Olympics. We must avoid pitting marginalized groups against each other. So when we treat this as a competition, or we act like this is oppression Olympics, we wind up having different groups pitted against each other. And when people are pitted against each other, that's not good. Instead, let's focus on our shared goal of dismantling all forms of discrimination. Leviticus 19:18 says, or reminds us to love our neighbor as ourselves. This includes standing together against hate without diminishing each other's experience. So, what's a better way forward? Empathy and solidarity. We must acknowledge our collective pain without comparison, and let's engage in open dialogue, educating ourselves about the unique histories of both anti-Semitism and racism. Building bridges between communities is crucial, focusing on our shared values. Black and brown Jewish voices who understand both experiences intimately offer invaluable insight here. I am someone who experiences anti-Semitism, racism, anti-Black racism, homophobia, sexism, and the intersections of all of that. As Jews, we know the historical pain of oppression, and let's draw on that understanding to stand in solidarity with all who face discrimination, bigotry, and bias and hate, while honoring the distinct struggles of each community. My intention here is not to diminish the pain of anti-Semitism. I experience anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is a real and urgent issue, but by avoiding simplistic comparisons and embracing empathy and education and solidarity, we can create a more unified movement against hate. So, thank you all for coming to my talk. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe. You can find this on all of the platforms, I believe. And y'all have a great day.